What's up, beautiful people, to another episode of Pursuit of Destiny podcast. It's your boy Rickey Jones Jr., and I also have the lovely
Crystal Jones
here today with us as we will be continuing on the conversation of I am creative. And of course, here on Tuesday, we have the perspective of the individual, okay? And for those that have businesses, make sure you tune back in on Thursday at 8 a.m., in which we will talk about this same subject from that perspective, view, and light, okay? All right, so from a individual perspective, I am creative, right? That has so many different connotations, so many different meanings, so many different ways in which we can unpack it as an individual. However, Ms. Jones, the first question that I want to ask or even discuss is, like, how can somebody that may not see themselves as creative unlock that ability to be creative?
I would say just start exposing themselves to creative environments. So whether that's a concert, whether that's an art class, a dance class, just start exposing themselves to creative environments.
And even so, like, we all, right? So there may be some circles that you're in and things like that where you've heard people say, like, I'm a creative, or you may look at Kanye West, or you may look at Beyonce, or you may even look at Elon Musk and like, oh man, they are creatives. And that is something that maybe I can achieve. Well, no, I personally believe that we all as individuals have the ability to create, have the ability to produce. Now, it may not look like what they do, or it may not look or sound like the way they look or sound. However, we all have a path in which we can be creative and produce something that is unique and unlike other people, right? So, of course, the saying always goes, or the fact of the matter is, we all do have a unique fingerprint, right? And even beyond that, I do believe that we all have a unique way to be creative and to bring something into this world. So, hey, you do have the unique ability to create. Now, Ms. Jones, with you being here, of course, I definitely want to bring out the various things that you have. Now, what ways would you say that you are creative or that you have the ability to create?
I would say writing is one of the ways. And then I would also say for sure like hair.
Okay.
I like doing creative things with hair. It's a way that I get to be expressive and creative, coloring hair.
True.
Things like that. So that's one of the outlets that I definitely look to, writing and hair.
Gotcha. Okay, so with the hair thing, let me just jump on that first. With the hair thing, was that something that you always were creative in, or were always expressing yourself creatively? Would you say?
I would say I may not have defined it that way, but yes.
Gotcha. And writing, would you say the same?
Yes.
Okay. Gotcha. So when would you say you were aware of the fact that you were creative in the writing aspect?
I don't know. I've always liked to write. So it's just something that I've always enjoyed doing and making up stories, and I always enjoyed reading. And so it's just something that kind of I've always done.
There may be some things that you are creative in that you exercised back in your childhood that you may be able to tap into or reach back to pull out now, right? You may be at a stopping place trying to figure out what you are creative in, what area can you be creative for, and things like that. And I mean, hey, go back, think back, reach back, ask somebody that maybe known you when you were younger. Hey, what things was I doing that were unique? What things were I doing regularly that you were like, oh my gosh, I wish you would stop? Or, oh my goodness, that is so cool. That is awesome. I love that you're doing it. Or, oh man, you may have a potential in this particular area. Well, ask those people, think back, whatever you have to do, meditate. I don't know, that may be your thing. But whatever you do, reach back, because we do have things that we are creative to do and to bring to this world. And so, hey, we're all about pursuing destiny and allowing us to have daily destiny moments, okay? So tapping into those things are necessary. So then also too, right? So from the affirmation, we knew that we have the ability to create beautiful things, right? And so beautiful things for me happens to be in a garden. I am able to do various things from grow bags to raised beds and growing different varieties of food, both together and separately and things like that. And not only does it taste good, but it also looks good in the grow bags and in its presentation, right? So not only do I get to enjoy it, but of course we do it on YouTube and do it at people's homes and things like that. Now, as you tapped into your two, specifically being writing and being hair, how has that been like a beautiful production? But more than anything, I want to say, how have you been able to be creative in it, but then allowing others to be a part of it as well?
So I guess I allow others to be a part of it because I get to read it, or wear the hair. I'll dye hair for people, stuff like that. But I did want to go back. So I don't think creativity. I think sometimes we just exaggerate what the thought of being creative even means. We think it has to fall into certain categories or look a certain way. But I like to believe that people's life is an expression of creativity.
Okay.
Even though you may not be, doing something that's considered typically this creative thing, it doesn't even have to be something new, particularly for it to be creative, but just the way in which you do something that's a little different than how someone else does something, that can be creative. That can be a creative expression for you. So I think it's just more about the way that someone lives life can be an expression of God's creativity, because there's no one that's going to be exactly like them. They are an individual. And once they open up their mind to the thought that they are an expression of God's creativity, they'll realize that they can express creativity, and they'll open their mind up to more ideas and ways of doing things just from living from that point and that place.
No, that's so very true. So very true. So very true, right? And even in perspective to the question that I did ask, I do know the various ways in which you allow for other people to come in contact with your creativity is through movies. You have written a few. Also, books, right? You've done those. A few courses, you've done those a few, as well as with the hair, like I said, and even as you said, the YouTube, as well as allowing other people to wear the hair creations that you come up with and things like that. But then as well as even them being able to see you doing what you do in your daily living, as you just even expressed, they may or may not know that the hair that you are wearing most often, if not all, is color and or created because of and by way of you. Now the bathroom at our home knows, right? Because me being the bathroom by myself, we experience the various nuances of the coloring, the dyeing, the drying, the flipping, the heating, all of those various things that go into making the creation of hair, which is also cool, right? It's cool just to be able to, for me, to see the process of it going from what a brown unit or black unit to something blonde or something red or other colors that you've created. So I would even say it is cool to even see those things. Now, tapping into where you were, right? Let's tap into that vein. Now, you even said creativity is the way in which people live their life daily, which is so cool. I haven't even thought of being creative in that way. You may not have even thought of being creative in that way, which is a also cool way to look at it. And I'm even now kind of flowing in that thought because I've heard people say different things about me as I live my life, and they see different things that I do, being unique or funny and things like that. And I'm thinking like, I mean, that's just what I do. Do I think I can be funny? Yes. Do I like live life to be funny? Not necessarily. There are moments where I'm like, okay, let me turn the funny card on. But usually it's just like, that just is what it is, and it just happens to be what it happens to be. Now, as you talk about living life, is there any more, right? Is there any more that you can squeeze out of that thought of just being creative in the aspect of just living your daily, regular life?
I don't know. I guess if I just were to say it again in maybe a different or more clear way, like, don't live life thinking, oh, what can I do to be creative? Live life realizing you are creativity. Like, you're a creative expression of God. So you are creativity. So you don't have to try to do any number of things to be an expression of that. Like, you literally are that. Water doesn't try to be wet water is wet.
Mm-hmm.
So people don't have to try to be creative. You are creativity.
Mm-hmm.
Like, God thought of something creative and you were it.
Right.
So just by living life, don't let people, which is the opposite of creativity really, but don't let people try to put you into a particular box of what creativity should look like in order for you to define yourself as a creative person. Your existence is that.
Yeah. Nah. That's snappable, right? You know what I'm saying? Even though it didn't rhyme, that was poetry in motion. Even with that, boxes, I heard it said, even last night, boxes aren't made for people, it's made for things. So don't allow, to her point, people to put you into boxes. No, allow yourself, if I would, to amplify what you were saying, just allow for your life to be a living example of what creativity can produce, which is cool, right? I came in with the thought of we all have something to do, right? That is creativity and a creative expression of life. And then Crystal came in with the aspect that you are creative, you are creativity, you are the living definition of creativity, as we all are unique individuals and therefore having the ability to do something special, do something unique, which inevitably has the idea of being creative. And even beyond that, right, we have the ability, if you were to tap into the business aspect of things and have the business mind, you know that being creative, doing something differently than other people, allows for you to have a business or a way in which you allow products, goods, or services to be given to people in a unique way, which of course isn't a topic for this day, is a topic for Thursday, in which you can tap into that day. Okay, so hey, with that being said, we know now, fully have an understanding, I hope. If not, let us know in the comment sections. We will definitely get to those and answer those questions if you do have them. But now we have the ability to know that we are creative. We are a living example of creativity. Therefore, we know as individuals we have the ability to be creative because we are an expression of creativity. So we can go out and be creative each and every day by just being the life, being the light, being the example that we are of God's creativity. Now that's cool. Any final words, last words on this here topic today?
No.
Okay, well, I appreciate you all for being with us here today, as well as Ms. Jones. Thank you for tapping in, giving those jewels and words of wisdom as well. So, until next time, great people, we say it every time. Don't just live life, but pursue destiny daily. Until next time, peace.